All right, Dreadmaster YGO here with another deck profile at the Through the Decades prize card case tournament with a top 8 finisher. What's your name? What'd you play?
Hi, my name is James, and I played Sorcel Tenyi. I went 6-1 in Swiss, and unfortunately I lost in Top Cut. But I'm still...
To getting Mass Token Collector 2 games in a row.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I think like each game, the token collectors were revived like 4 or 5 times, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Alright. Shoutouts first?
I'd like to shout out my friends Sean and Danny because yeah, they went with me and supported me, and
God, yes.
Yeah, and then Danny let me stay overnight before the event, and yeah, like both of those guys were just a really great help. And I'd also like to shout out my team, Team Armageddon, and especially my teammate Clement, who helped me refine the deck right before the event, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So with that, I'll just get right into it. So for the Sorcel monsters, played 3 Ecclesia, 3 Mohi, 2 Taya, and 3 Longyun. This is fairly standard in a Sorcel deck. These are the best starters. This is the best card at top deck, and this is one of the best extenders in the game. So, no, not much to be explained here. And then for the Tenyis, I play 3 Ashuna, 3 Vishuda, 3 Adhara, and 1 Shitana. So, there are people who cut down on the Tenyis because they play the Hout package. I do not, because I don't think the Hout package is very good in this deck, since it never feels like the right play to go for, and it's just a massive choke point that you give your opponent when otherwise there's usually just a better play to go for. And not to mention, you do add bricks into your deck. Like, Italy is just not a very good card in this deck, per se. But, yeah, like, these cards just help you going second immensely. And I play the water one because I still play Circle. I think that card is just absolutely insane in this deck.
I agree.
And for the non-engine cards, I played 3 Drone Lockbird, 3 Ash Blossom, 1 Ghost Bell, and 3 Droplets. So I wanted 10 going second cards that were impactful and versatile. And Bell and Ash, they can both help stop the Brave Engine. Bell can be used on Enchantress, and it also has a lot of applications against just a lot of different interactions, like hitting a Nadir Servant, a DPE, Eldritch cards, PK cards. Droll is just like just a floodgate hand trap that you can play in this deck, and it can help stop you from getting Scythe locked. And Droplet is like the best card of the format. There's no explanation needed with Droplet. And yeah, so that's it for the going second cards. And for the spells, since this is more of a pure deck, I played a lot of Tenyi spell cards. So 3 Vessel and 3 Cycle. A lot of people have cut down on these cards, but these help you a lot in terms of consistency and playing through boards. So I think you just have to play all of these. Sometimes I do side out multiple Vessels when I go second against certain matchups, but they just still need to be played. Then I played 3 Emergence. It's a Rhoda for the deck. There's no explanation needed. Play this card at 3, please. And 1 Desire, since it's limited, and the 1 Blackout.
Okay.
And for the extra deck, play 2 Chi-Shao. The most basic play in the extra deck, you usually go for this every time. Helps you get started, and is an interruption. 2 Baxias, helps you break boards. Yazi also helps you break boards. Chaofeng, this helps you play around Nibiru, which is not very common, but playing around Ogre this format is pretty key because Ogre is in a lot of different decks. And also can just floodgate a deck like Drytrons. And then for the level 10s, I played one Baron, standard, it's a very good card. One Chunging, this card helps you OTK when you go second. And the new card from the latest set, the new Longyun Synchro, this card is very good against certain decks. This is pretty much like one of the few cards that you could use to interact with the Brave engine. Against certain decks like Brave PK, this can just be 2 interruptions in 1 Synchro monster, which is pretty nice. And other level 8s, I played one Dragite, helps you a lot against your Eldritch matchups. I don't agree with cutting this card because this card just puts in a lot of work against back row decks, especially Eldritch, which you would have a hard time against otherwise. And one Berserker. Can be an interruption or it can help you OTK. It's a pretty good card. And then for the Link monsters, 3 Monk and 1 Shaman. Pretty standard. Yes, I would probably play 7 if I can. And some tokens. And for the side deck, played like quite a bit of an artifact package. So I have 3 Sanctum, 1 Scythe, and 3 Lancia. I think Sanctum is probably like the best going first card this format just because it's really hard to interact with. And this helps you play around droplets because even after this card does lose to droplets, but if you have a board, they would have to droplet your board first or do something to your board to break it, and then you still have this to ensure that you survive in their turn. And the Sanctums can also fetch Lancia as a secondary target if you draw it post turn 1 or after you've gone through the Scythe. So just some extra utility. And Lancia is probably the best hand trap this format. Just can't main deck it because this deck banishes a lot on the opponent's turn. And then back row hate is pretty standard. I think this is way better than Lightning Storm, just because it's chainable against certain cards that you really want to hit before the main phase. And it's also sidable going first, which is a huge deal against some of the back row matchups that you struggle against.
Yeah.
And then played 2 Dark Ruler and the other 2 Bells. This is just a very good all-around hand trap, and Dark Ruler is just needed against some of the combo decks of this format that don't side block you. And that's the deck, guys.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations. 2 boxes from a free case tournament. Not bad at all. All right. Thank you.